What if your nighttime bathroom trips aren't really caused by drinking too much water? If you're waking once, twice, or several times every night, don't automatically blame your bladder. Your kidneys, legs, medications, blood sugar, sleep, and evening routine can all play a role. And one surprisingly simple habit may be making the entire cycle worse. Imagine it's 10:30 at night. You've finally gotten comfortable, the house is quiet, and you're ready to sleep. Then sometime after midnight, you wake up and head to the bathroom. You return to bed, but an hour or two later, it happens again. By morning, you've spent 8 hours in bed, but feel like you barely slept. After several weeks, this can start changing your daily life. You may stop drinking water before going out, choose an aisle seat at the theater, or think twice about taking a long drive. The frustrating part is that many people respond by dramatically reducing water, but dehydration isn't the solution. The goal is to understand why so much urine reaches your bladder at night. Getting up once during the night can happen with normal aging, but repeatedly waking several times, especially when the pattern is new or getting worse, deserves attention. The medical term is nocturia, but nocturia is a symptom, not a diagnosis. Your bladder may be involved, but your kidneys, circulation, medications, blood sugar, or sleep could also be part of the story. Your body constantly moves water between your bloodstream, tissues, and kidneys. During the day, you're upright, so gravity can pull fluid toward your lower legs. If your ankles become swollen, some of that fluid may remain in your tissues. Then you lie down at night, gravity changes, fluid returns to circulation, and your kidneys may remove some of it as urine. That's why the bathroom trip at 2 a.m. may actually have a story that started hours earlier. But don't take this as a reason to restrict water aggressively. Your body still needs adequate hydration. The goal is better timing and identifying triggers, not dehydration. Now let's look at 5 evening habits that may be interfering with your sleep. First, think about how you drink throughout the day. Maybe you're busy at work and barely drink anything until dinner. Then you suddenly realize you haven't had enough fluids and start drinking several large glasses. The problem isn't that water became bad. The problem is concentrating a large amount of fluid close to bedtime when your kidneys still have to process it. Linda, 63, rarely drank much during work because she didn't like using public bathrooms. At dinner, she would drink several glasses almost automatically. Instead of stopping water, she started drinking more consistently earlier in the day. The goal was simple: spread her normal fluids throughout the day instead of turning dinner and bedtime into her main hydration window. Second, watch your evening beverages. Herbal tea, warm water with lemon, decaffeinated tea, or broth may sound harmless. But your bladder doesn't care whether the liquid is considered healthy. A large mug shortly before lying down still adds fluid when you're trying to minimize nighttime bladder filling. Even caffeine-free drinks can contribute simply because they add liquid. Robert had already stopped drinking coffee after lunch, but still woke twice every night. Then he noticed his routine: a large mug of tea every night around 9:30. He moved the beverage earlier and kept the final evening period focused on smaller amounts when he was actually thirsty. Sometimes changing the timing, rather than eliminating a favorite drink, can make a difference. Third, pay attention to salty evening meals. Think about salty soup, processed meat, packaged sauces, or restaurant food. You may become thirstier afterward, and sodium also affects how your body handles fluid. Sodium is essential, but many people consume more than recommended. If you already experience leg swelling, your evening meal may be especially relevant to your nighttime pattern. George noticed that whenever he ate restaurant food at dinner, his socks left deeper marks around his ankles, and his nighttime bathroom trips seemed worse. Instead of relying heavily on salt for flavor, consider herbs, garlic, lemon, pepper, and other seasonings when appropriate. More importantly, notice whether salty meals repeatedly seem to coincide with worse nights. Fourth, look at your ankles before dinner and again before bed. Do your socks leave deep marks? Do your shoes feel tighter? Do your lower legs look puffier? Don't diagnose yourself from swelling alone, but pay attention to recurring patterns. Fluid can accumulate in your legs while you're upright and return to circulation when you lie down. Persistent or significant swelling can sometimes be associated with heart, kidney, vein, medication, or other health issues. If swelling is persistent, sudden, one-sided, painful, or associated with breathing problems, don't try to fix it with a hydration trick. Seek medical evaluation. If your clinician says leg elevation is appropriate, comfortable leg elevation earlier in the evening may help fluid movement. Fifth, remember that sometimes your bladder isn't what wakes you. You may wake because of snoring, fragmented sleep, stress, an uncomfortable room, or pain. Once you're awake, you notice your bladder and think, I might as well use the bathroom. The urge is real, but the bladder may not have been the reason you originally woke up. So pay attention to what happens first. Did you wake because you urgently needed to urinate? Or did you wake for another reason and then decide to use the bathroom? That distinction can be useful information for your doctor. Also consider how many times you're getting up. Once, twice, 3 times, or more. Your pattern may reveal an important clue. For the next 7 days, keep a simple record. Write down when you wake up, when you last had a large drink, whether dinner was unusually salty, whether you had caffeine late, whether your legs were swollen, and how many times you urinated overnight. If you're taking a diuretic or water pill, don't change its timing yourself. Ask your doctor if the timing is appropriate. Also tell your healthcare professional about prostate symptoms, difficulty starting urination, weak stream, urgency, excessive thirst, leg swelling, snoring, or changes in sleep. Nighttime urination can sometimes improve through evening habit changes, medication adjustments under medical supervision, or treatment of an underlying condition. You don't necessarily have to accept years of broken sleep simply because you're over 50. Remember the 5 habits. Don't save most of your fluids for dinner. Don't assume a large healthy bedtime drink is harmless. Pay attention to salty evening meals. Notice recurring leg swelling. And don't assume every nighttime awakening started with your bladder. Don't fight your bladder blindly. Follow the clues your body is giving you and discuss persistent changes with a healthcare professional. If you wake during the night, comment below with just one number. How many times do you usually get up? And if you know someone over 50 who keeps blaming themselves for drinking too much water, share this video with them. Sometimes the answer isn't drinking less, it's understanding the pattern. This video is educational only. Don't restrict fluids or change prescription medications without medical guidance. If symptoms suddenly worsen or include pain, blood in urine, extreme thirst, significant swelling, or breathing problems, seek medical advice.